The other day I was going through my closet and I found this, which is a bunch of notes and information that I took at a summer camp that I went to a few years ago. Now this isn't just any old summer camp. This was a film camp. More specifically, this was the Dodge College Summer Film Institute at Chapman University. This program is a 2-week-long summer camp designed to teach students going into their junior or senior year of high school everything and every aspect about the film industry. I applied before my junior year of high school, and I went to the camp summer before my junior year. So that was back in 2011, and I was actually one of the first classes, is what they called it, one of the first groups of people to experience this camp. I don't have any of my application materials still, but I remember the application being exactly similar to what you would be doing for a college application anyway. I think there was a creative resume I had to submit, there were questions I had to answer, and probably an essay I think I had to submit, and even maybe a video sample of what work I had been doing up until that point. So after getting in, I was super excited because there are only about 30 or 40 students that get selected each summer to do this film institute. So I flew down to LA and I was joined with all the other students from across the country, and I think some people who were international as well, and we all got taken from the airport to Dodge College, which is just the film school that's part of Chapman University. As I said, this camp was 2 weeks long and every day was jam-packed. So in this folder I actually still have the itinerary of all the stuff that was listed for us every single day of the camp. And I'm not going to run over every single detail because there was so much that we accomplished, but I just want to go over the big details and the big things that we actually worked on. The camp was run by 6 different adults, or 6 different people. These people were associated with the university. Some of them were professors who worked there full time. Others I think were just visiting faculty. Others had been students of Chapman that had just recently graduated and wanted to volunteer. These 6 people were basically our camp counselors, and they taught us everything. They were there from day one until the very last day, showing us how to do everything, taking us from place to place, and giving us a crash course in filmmaking. So when we arrived at the camp, we were actually put into the dorm, so we were all given roommates. It was just like going to college. So we all had our dorm rooms and everything, and we were given meal swipes so we could go to the dining halls, and then we had to walk every single day to class, basically, or to the lecture halls to sit down, regroup, and go over everything that we were going to be doing in that day. Every day pretty much went from about 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., so we were working constantly with only a small break in between each thing for lunch. So each day consisted of a bunch of different things. Within the first few days of that first week of camp, we were basically doing lectures with the professors who were there helping us, and we were doing a lot of workshops on the equipment that we would be using later on during the weeks to film our own projects. The first night we had a visual storytelling lecture, which basically had us sit down in front of a screen in a big classroom, and we took a bunch of movies and we looked at each shot and counted how many shots happened within a scene. And I thought that this was a really great introduction to the entire program because the professor there seemed really knowledgeable, and it gave me a great understanding of like how much work actually goes into setting up a shot or setting up a scene when you're filming something. The next couple of days we had more seminars on how to use cameras, how to do screenwriting, and how to edit as well. Within the college there were all these different rooms where we could do this. There were editing suites with Avid, which we would sit down and we would just take clips from previously made projects and cut them ourselves. We had people come in from Red Camera and set up one of their big Red Epic cameras, and we just basically got to play around with that and pass it around the classroom. The best day by far was when they took us on the Warner Brothers studio lot tour, which was great. So we got to sit in our little golf carts and we got to drive around the lot, and we got to see all these movie sets, and we got to see all these old props, which was so exciting. And we also went to Mole Richardson Lighting, and Mole Richardson himself gave us a lighting tech on how to use all the lights in a scene in a film. We also got to hang out around Hollywood a little bit and just kind of explore the Hollywood Boulevard. And then we went to see a movie later on that day. We were also staying really close to Disneyland. Chapman University is actually probably about a 30-minute drive or less to Disneyland, so they got to take us there for one night. And instead of going on the rides, we actually just went to watch movies at the theater that was in downtown Disney. Towards the end of the first week, all of the students in the camp were divided up into groups of about 5, I think. So the groups that we were assigned to, it was all picked at random. We were going to be working as if we were a small film crew, and for the entire rest of the camp, which I think was about a week and a half at that point, we were supposed to work together to produce 3 short films. Each group was also assigned a faculty member or one of our camp counselors to help us with all of our pre-production, our production, and post-production stuff. My group was assigned a certain person who was there sitting with us during our pre-production and helping us form our ideas for all 3 of our projects. Each film only had to be about 5 to 10 minutes long, but we had to make up the story based on a couple prompts that we were given, and then I think our final film was any idea that we wanted to do. Each group was given equipment, and I think we had to pass it around throughout the weeks, and we were given specific times that we were supposed to shoot, and we had all the freedom in the world around that campus, so we were able to shoot wherever in the classrooms, outside, on the Chapman campus. So since it was just a small summer camp or film camp for high school students, we didn't have that many resources, so it was just kind of everyone was acting in each other's projects, and whoever was filming that day would have to make sure that everyone on their team was given a role, so someone would be director, someone would be cinematographer, etc., etc. But everything was totally in a group, so anytime that we did something, we would all kind of have to consult each other, especially when it came down to editing. We would all cram around one computer, and someone had the mouse, someone else had the keyboard, and we'd all be making choices and cuts based on what we all wanted to do. Something that I thought was really great about the camp was that we were able to utilize all of the equipment and everything that was included in Dodge College, which is, again, the film school. So they had Foley studios, and they had sound recording booths and editing suites, and all of it we got to test out. So at the end of the 2 weeks, we actually had a screening of our final films in front of all of our friends and family. And there's a big theater that is on campus at Dodge College, and so my parents actually flew down to California, and they got to see what I had been working on for the last 2 weeks. To this day, I still have a copy of all the films that I made. They compressed it all into a DVD and handed those out to everyone at the end of the camp. What I just explained for this video doesn't even scratch the surface of how great this camp was. I mean, I could go on and on about it. I think it was an extremely great opportunity for any high school student who's interested in film or interested in pursuing film, especially in college, because this is really like going to film school before actually going to film school. To this day, I still look back on that camp and all the stuff that I learned. I feel like I had so much personal and professional growth there, and the skills that I learned that set me up are skills that I relearned when I actually went to film school in college. I will say as a disclaimer though, this camp was a little pricey, so it's definitely something you'd have to save up for if you're interested. And if not, I think they might have financial aid available. Again, I was there the very first group that was accepted, so I think things change every single summer. And I think there are also several sessions per summer. I just happened to be the very first one, which I think was end of July. But of course, I'm sure by now, you know, being 5-6 years later, it's definitely a lot different. As I mentioned before in my folder, there were a lot of notes that I took throughout the film camp, so I'm going to post those online to my blog as well, so be on the lookout for that post that's coming soon. Thank you all for watching today's video. I hope you liked it. If you have any questions or comments about the film camp, please just leave a comment down below, or go over to my blog and leave a comment there, or just tweet at me, you know, whatever. Please check the description below for all the further information about this camp, and hopefully you guys can apply and get in like I did. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!